throw it tip down, it can bounce and hit the windows. Oh, it's hard work being a groundsman. So we've got an interesting one. I'm going to be on the ground for this one. So we've got this property and there's this really mature beech tree and it's got heavy growth over the neighbouring property and this property. We're going to take 2.5 metres off the sides. We're not touching the height, and we've only got permission to do the western side, so that sort of starts directly above me and over to that other side there, this whole property side facing. And we're only going to lift a little bit because of this foam wire on this side. Trickiest thing when we're doing partial reductions is blending the side that you've reduced to the side that's not being reduced. So you want to control where you're chucking the butt, because if you throw it tip down it can bounce and hit the windows. Yeah, that's alright. Spot on. So we're really trying to get that blend in. Stuff that we're not doing to stuff that we are doing. That's the tricky bit. Once we've signed that off, then we can move along. Yeah. Some boards would have been better here. I was a bit worried about going up this one, but it's doing really well. See, bigger trees, it's all just in your head. It's exactly the same, and a lot of times easier than the smaller stuff. You know, the limbs you're going out on aren't going to snap beneath your feet. Your ankle points are stronger. It's all just in your head. Oh, it's hard work being a groundsman. You can see the curve he's created already. It blends into what's not been done. Just trying to get all this in now. Quite an interesting tree. You can really see the torque. See these cracks where the whole tree is twisted. All here. The whole stem is really corkscrewing round. All down here. It's a crazy union. It's all merged. In my opinion, to be a good grounds person, you've got to be a good tree climber. You've got to kind of anticipate what he wants before he wants it. So if he wants a chainsaw, that chainsaw needs to be fueled up and ready for him. You need to be organising his ropes if they start getting tangled up, wrapping around a shrub, wrapping around a fence. You need to sort it out, because whatever you can do to keep your climber calm and focused on what he's doing and not bothered about what's going on down here, the quicker he'll be, the more efficient he'll be. So when there's not much of a drag and it's just the little pieces at a time, you get the pieces out, get prepped, get ready, clear the landing zone, keep an eye out for people, spot when he needs help. Good communication with your climber is really important. If you think something looks crap and he's like, yeah, I'm moving on to the next bit, you've got to tell him. You've got to be like, no, that looks rubbish. You need to finish what, you know, take that bit in a bit more, or go out and get that bit, because he'll be more annoyed if he gets down, looks up and the tree's rubbish. You just need to be able to tell him, no, that doesn't look good, or yeah, compliment him, that looks great, that looks well. Because when you're in the tree, you can get sort of bummed out and you think things aren't going well, but from the ground things can be looking great. So keeping him updated with how things are looking is really important. I think we've been given a lot of tree to do in one day, but we'll see. Yeah, buddy. Good throw. These are the tricky ones. Getting it in. Not amazing replacements on them bottom ones. This is what it is. The throw's quite hard, so we thought about maybe putting a little tagline onto him or a branch and sort of zipping them down on a little mini speed line. But he says he thinks he's getting alright, going along alright, so. Woof. So that's the curve that we've got at the moment. You can see what's been left, what we've got to do. So we're sort of tucking this bottom in harder and leaving the top to create that round shape. And the reason why they're wanting this done is when it's in leaf, it's touching the roof. So by going harder on the bottom and going softer up to the top, you get a nice shape but get the impact that they actually want. That's where we're up to, just need to do this portion. So we're struggling to get them over now on these longer ones. So we're going to try something. I wouldn't advise this with big pieces. If you were to do it with bigger pieces, you'd have to use a separate rigging rope. But I'm just going to sling the piece. He's not just going to cut and drop it, he's going to try and cut it and manoeuvre it to a position that's advantageous to us. And he's going to attach the sling onto the tail of his line. I'm going to hold it out like a little speed line. So it might tug on you a little bit, yeah, okay. But you're tied in twice, so it's fine. Like, almost like help me a little bit with it, and then I'll do the last little bit. You can guide it as best as you can. Then I can get it tight then.
Ready?
Yeah. That works well. It's a tricky one there. Really it wants to go right in, but I'm going to try and take it roughly where his right foot is. When you've got protected trees, they obviously give a specification that I think take them two off, yeah. You obviously get given a specification, so 2.5 meters. But then it also says all works must be completed to British standards. And what that means is you've got to take it to proper pruning points. So just going to the specification of 2.5 meters, you'd just be stubbing everything, taking everything just to no replacement. So you've got to respect the limitations that you've been given by the tree officer, because there's quite severe implications for not following that. But at the same time, you need to be pruning everything to an appropriate point. Nice one. Interesting here. That's an old pruning cut, how it's tried to heal over like that. Compartmentalization would have taken place, so it would have shut and sealed itself off, almost like a cone, and then allow the energy to still run through.
Oh, nice.
What, the cooking? It started raining. I think we're going to do about 3 more and then come down, have dinner. Nice. Done a good job there. Much clearer. Just going to do this little bit drooping by the wires and then we're done.